pitches.
Here we go.
Imagine that dream come true for that kid.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Plus. I'm Frank Cusimano.
And I'm Corey Miller. Tonight we're going to celebrate the season of giving by looking back on the gift that kept on giving, sports in 2023.
It was a year of great stories and compelling people that make you fans and make our jobs easier.
And for tonight's main event, here's a taste of what the year had to bring us.
A sold-out building on their SEC opener, and they will pick up the victory over Kentucky better than he does.
Watch out, Kobe Brown.
And they'll advance for the second round with a double-digit win.
Down low, stop, rebound, score. Gerard put it right on, and a rebound goal. And again, Rodriguez scores. This game's over and in the books, and it's a shellacking here in Arizona.
We kind of put ourselves in this situation, and which is unfortunate, and things happen because of it.
Side, it's flicked, it's in! Oh, baby!
It's like the best version of church you've ever been to.
Fourth hit of the inning.
Two runners right on one another's heels. And there's the out at the plate.
Where we are and where we are in the standings, it's going to make it very difficult to change that.
Adam Wainwright, welcome to the 200-win club.
Certainly will go down as a top 3 moment for me ever, baseball-wise.
Schrader. Cody Schrader.
Wow.
So there are a lot of stories to talk about, but I guess at the top of the list would be two teams that surprised us most. First, Eli Drinkwitz and the Mizzou Tigers. Who would have thought this?
Coming into this year, you say you win 7 or 8 games, that's a good year. They win 10 games, they're going to the Cotton Bowl to play Ohio State, the best season in a decade for Mizzou.
And so many people were looking to get rid of Eli Drinkwitz. Instead, we want to keep Eli Drinkwitz for as long as we can right now. And I don't think they're going to be a one-year wonder either.
Frank, City SC was anything but an expansion team. They started hot, ended up winning the Western Conference, but then their season came to a quick end in the postseason. But what a season it was in total.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to think about the ending. Like with most sports teams we do, I think the expectations were so low, picked to finish last, they finished first, and you just believe in every aspect of the organization. Owner, sporting director, head coach, star players. These are people that you can build a foundation from.
And I'll tell you what, there is no St. Louis sports experience like being in City Park on a match day. It's awesome.
Now, it was a year for the Cardinals and the Blues that we hadn't seen from either team for a long time. Let's begin with the Cardinals. I think this is the most shocking because you have your worst season in 3 decades with a team you thought, hey, they can win the Central. No, they finished last in the Central.
We went into the season saying they needed more pitching. They did need more pitching, and it just went south from there. There is some things to build on. You love the lineup, but they cannot afford to have what happened last year happen again.
You're right about loving the lineup and with some good young players. We think Jordan Walker is on the cusp of stardom. We think Nolan Gorman can hit 30 home runs. So if the free agent pitchers they sign deliver, you are a contender to win the Central.
It's not just gonna happen. We got to earn it, and you got to play the right way to earn it.
At some point, you have to make changes, and it's not something I wanted to do.
Not quite a Cardinals level failure of a year from the Blues this past season, but still not great. And they're kind of in a transition phase right now. What do you even make of the Blues?
Yeah, it's kind of stunning that the Blues are mediocre because let's face it, for almost the last 2 decades, they've always been really good, always in the playoffs. And then you look at the roster right now, it's not a great roster. The hope for the Blues, because for the first time in a long time, they're picking early in the draft. And they do have a lot of mega talented kids in the system. So if they can just be like a 7th or 8th, playoff team, and then you have the youngsters coming up, you got a chance to be really good again. Because Doug Armstrong is not in this thing to be mediocre.
Yeah. Frank, what about our MDP, most deserving personality? Has there been a better story than Cody Schrader this year?
He's got to be the most compelling sports figure in our area for 2023. Not only because you're first-team All-American and you're the best walk-on in the country, but because of your humble beginnings. Nobody would take him out of high school, had to go to Truman State, as everybody knows, and then is the best running back in the United States, I believe.
You couldn't write it up any better, and it also helps that he's a great kid who gives us great sound bites, too. We've got a lot to get to. Up next, Frank and I introduce the stories we're most proud of from 2023.
And we're going to show you some of our best Sunday conversations. Our holiday Sports Plus rolls on after this.
Sports Plus, sponsored by Nissan. We make cars that thrill.
When you do get inside, be prepared to stand all game. Maybe bring some earbuds too.
You get the elation and the ups and downs of a good sermon, but you also get beer thrown on you. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Looking for Joachini inside. It's there.
Welcome back. One of the things we take great pride in is our storytelling. Primarily, people you'll want to know, and even those you think you might know, but we show you a different side to them.
It's impossible to show you them all, but here are bits of some of the stories we're most proud of. We put them in our Sports Plus spotlight.
Greg is this man, Greg Poole. When he's not working his full-time job as a network manager for a special education co-op, he's here. And here is a pretty amazing place. Welcome to Can's Can. It's a baseball card and sports memorabilia shop born out of love. Every dollar made in Greg's shop goes to helping people, however they may need it.
They come in, take what they need, so we have backpacks, books. Books are really popular.
Every game I walk out to, it's like I'm ready to do it again. You got to stay behind the 45 now.
Behind the white. Behind the white.
Here you go, Coach.
The question has to be asked. What is this 71-year-old man who ascended to the highest level of his profession doing, refereeing a freshman football game? His club head speed is 153 miles per hour. On this day at Crystal Springs Quarry, he was hitting balls 400 yards. He's now 6'4" and 225 pounds of sheer muscle. But this competition is not just about strength.
There's a reason that Mr. Olympia is not hitting a golf ball very far. He's got no range of mobility.
And not this type of hand-eye coordination either.
If you want to hit a golf ball far, you got to center it up in the middle of the face, and you got to be coming in at the right position.
They are always with each other. Kent and Joan Weisenstein have been married for 66 years, and it all began in high school.
She needed a ride home from wrestling at Belleville East, and I put up my hand and said, "I'll take you." And that started it.
But there's another love in Kent's life, a romance he's had longer than his marriage to Joan. For the last 73 years, Kent Weisenstein has been a baseball pitcher. And now, after being across the globe, about 10,000 miles away, Kevin Lish has returned home.
I left in 2009 by myself, and I come back home with a wife and 4 kids.
His title is Client Service Associate.
How exciting is that? I mean, I feel like everywhere I went playing basketball, switching teams, I always had to prove myself. So I think if you have a little humility and always have a thirst to learn, yeah, it can be daunting, it can be scary, but it's pretty exciting too.
And they know how to have a good time too.
Where am I going? Oh. I told you I provide the entertainment.
Before and after the golf.
Every Wednesday we have a good time, especially after we're all through. Get all the stories going.
And when it comes to stories, nobody has more than Larry DeCampo, for a good reason.
I'm 103, born in 1920.
Do you feel like it?
No.
Larry may be one of the oldest golfers in the area and likely the entire country, but don't let that age fool you. He's still a valuable scramble partner.
One Sunday, though, Mark got into a fight on the field.
Defensive back comes up and punches him in the neck. And Dad forgot about the ball carrier, turns around and starts beating this guy, beating him and gets him on the ground. And of course, who does the ref see? He sees Mark Arneson. Mark Arneson ejected, fighting.
Then teammate and roommate Roger Worley approached him on the sideline.
Hey, Mark, aren't you supposed to speak at the Billy Graham Crusade tomorrow night?
Mark did. And there he is in the same row with Billy Graham. And that story was an important one in his life, most of which was spent as a prominent member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This bar is baseball-centric.
Call this the Four Horsemen, Mr. Musial, Smith, Brock, and Gibson. And all signed and authenticated, and I was able to meet all four of them.
And he also got to know Pete Rose and got the bat with this inscription: "I'm sorry I bet on baseball." Tell me why you have a funeral bunting above the Rose signed jersey.
Yeah, because I told Mr. Rose, Pete, when he signed his bat in Las Vegas, I said, I have a jersey with funeral bunting on it. He says, what the heck? He said, you want me dead? I said, no, but when you are, they're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. And he just laughed.
The cancer's not stopping this girl from living her life. She has dances to attend and serves the smash. Do you know in your stomach right now you're going to beat it?
I do. I've had days where I wonder, and I, wonder if, how powerful this is and can I do this forever? But I've come a long way, and I think I've hopefully gotten through the worst parts of it. And I'm still here, and I'm still fighting, and I'm still doing the things I love. So I have really no excuse to not beat it.
Very rarely. Obviously, there's times when I'm walking around the ballpark, I might hear something like, I think my most favorite quote is, "Hey Mo, fire yourself." So that can be stinging, but I also smile and laugh it off. But I think typically when I'm out in public, most people are very kind and show a lot of grace given the season we've had, and so I'm grateful for that. But I will say, completely off social media, don't read Twitter anymore, or X, or whatever they call it. So I try to just read about the game itself, what's happening in our minor leagues, and certainly looking towards the future.
We've had a lot of great guests on Sports Plus in 2023, both local and national. They're the superstars and headline makers in sports.
They've been established stars as well as the up-and-comers. So here are bits with the best, the most memorable of our 2023 Sunday conversations. Is it too early to compare Shohei Ohtani with Babe Ruth?
No, it's not. And what Shohei is doing, Babe Ruth, for all of his greatness and his importance in baseball history, never did at this level simultaneously. He was a Hall of Fame level pitcher in the dead ball era and then became a full-time outfielder. There was a small overlap of him pitching and slugging, but never pitching and slugging simultaneously at this level.
Nowhere was excellence more exhibited than 50 years ago and your 21-22 performance. How do you remember it?
That we won the game. I'm a team guy. Bill Russell is my favorite player ever. Kareem was the greatest I ever played against, but Bill Russell was my guy. And he played for the other guys. And Coach Wooden said, okay, if the other team is dug in defensively, and it's a set-up offensive set for us, if Bill Walton and Jamal Wilkes don't get the ball every time, the rest of you guys are coming out. And so I got a lot of the baskets, but it was ball movement.
If I put you in uniform right now, could you catch a ball in an NFL game?
Oh, yeah. Getting off the line of scrimmage wouldn't be a problem. Yeah. I would probably go over the middle. Yeah. I mean, because there's no one hitting you. No one really wants to tackle. Right. So catching a pass, I don't think that'd be a problem.
And do you ever dream about doing it again? I know you won't, but do you ever miss it?
The way defenses are played now, and then our ability to penetrate a defense, and with our route running ability, our hands and all that stuff, we're craft masters, man. So we could have played in any era.
Do you ever look back and regret some of the things you've done?
No, not at all. I think they're all learning experiences, and it's putting myself in tough situations and not being afraid and having courage. And I do understand. I think last year I might have took on a little too much, and as a goalie in this position, and you know, it was a tough go as a team, right? So there's a time and a place.
I've really gotten kind of into chess lately.
Really?
Yeah. So Tink and then Tico, we actually after we work out, we usually go back to his place and we play some chess.
Chess and baseball, kind of the match between
right,
the batter and pitcher. Is there something kind of there, man?
I hope so. I feel like if I get better at chess, maybe I'll get better at baseball. Who knows?
How quickly do the words "how much" pop into a recruit's mind when you're talking to them about the University of Missouri? How much NIL?
Well, I don't let guys really complete their sentences if it starts off like that. I want them to understand how to value the relationship that I can give them, the development that will come, right? It's transparency. And unfortunately, you have transformational experiences and transactional experiences. College basketball is changing. I want to keep it transformational.
The story has become legendary now. You skip practice to go to your graduation, and then you go to the practice field that night in full pads and a helmet to go over the plays. Now, did you really need to put on the pads and the helmet?
The only reason I did that because they did it, right? So my teammates did it, so I thought, you know, that's only right if I do it because they had to go through that work during, you know, earlier on. So I had to go sacrifice and, you know, put in the work just like they did.
Long career, a lot of different places, but is this the most fun you've ever had in soccer?
I've always had passion. I've always enjoyed what I do, and for sure this is great. I mean, to take on a challenge like this, and that's one of the things. Everyone said it's the worst job in the world to take on an MLS expansion team. It's the most dangerous, the worst job in the world. Everyone I phoned, everyone I took guidance from, they said don't do it. I was like, yes, now I want to do it. That's why I want to do it.
Well, we love your candor. Anthony Davis, street closed because he misses games. Draymond Green, the triple single. I'm wondering, do you get much blowback, or do people just understand, hey, you're having fun?
Well, I hope they know I'm having fun. We're talking about basketball. We're not talking about national security. It's just basketball, and we all have great lives. All the NBA players have great lives. So I try to make it fun for the fan at home.
When you walk off the field tomorrow for the final time, how would you like to be remembered by these St. Louis fans?
Well, I don't know. I mean, all I can do is be me, you know, and hopefully they remember me as a guy who helped carry on our great traditions here, and you know, and yeah.
Time now for the Victory Men's Health, Frankly Speaking. A word about the year. The Cardinals not making the playoffs, the Blues not making the playoffs in the same year, that doesn't happen. So what did happen in our region? City SC has that historic expansion season and electrifies the city. A Mizzou basketball team with very few expectations makes a home run hire and wins 25 games. And perhaps the biggest story of them all, Mizzou football stuns the SEC, goes 10-2, and on to the Cotton Bowl. And the thing about those three teams, they are likely not one-year wonders. The Cardinals and Blues will be back eventually, and when they do come back, our good sports town will be great again. That's our show for tonight. For Corey Miller, I'm Frank Cusimano. We look forward to having you with us in 2024.
I feel special. Y'all are amazing. I love you so much. I can't wait to spend a lot of years back here in Cardinals country rooting on World Series champions over and over.
We are signing off for now, but don't forget, 5